really quick right now. Alrighty then. I am v.Link with the DGL.org, and you are watching a competitive workshop along with giveaways. And we are on the map Heights. Let me just fix up some of this stuff I got on my screen. Cool. There we go. Alrighty. So let me go over some basic callouts first. A lot of Heights is different. A lot of people have different callouts for Heights, but I'm just gonna tell you ours. And then if you want to modify it, feel free to, because everyone has their own system, and you just use what works for you. Righty. So this building right here. Actually, let me turn on. There we go. Oh no. There we go. This building right here, we call this T, and we call it T1 and T2 for the levels of the building. So T1 and T2. We call this right here Man Cave, and this is called Man Cave Alley. This is White Truck on B, Humvee. So we're insurgents, so it'd be, you know, our logs, their logs, or woodpile, their woodpile, our woodpile. We call this shack, and we say we're on insurgents, so I would say our shack, their shack, depending on what side he's on. Well, there's a lot of different calls for this. Some people call it, you know, radio tower or station, or we call it mid 1 and mid 2. So mid 1, mid 2, mid 1, mid 2. We call this over here, or let me just, what am I looking at? Okay. We call this right here Overwatch. And we call this building Sniper House. This right here is called A Canyon or A Valley. This is called A River. So like the call would be, oh, he's rushing up A River. And, you know, if I'm on insurgents, that I know that he's coming towards me, rushing up A River. This is called Ridge right here. So a lot of people will camp here, peeking over. And then this call right here, it's called Farmhouse. Super important. Farmhouse. This is obviously, you know, farm, you know, back A. And then we actually number all these rooms. But we don't, usually people camp here. This is like the most common spot. This is where people usually camp. But each section of the room is it's A1, A2, A3. So the way we usually number things, we usually try to go from security side, but I know last week on district, that's just one of our older calls, so that is a little different. But from here, you know, it's A1, A2, A3, Farmhouse, A Canyon, A River, T1, T2, mid 1, mid 2, Sniper House. We call this like Broken Wall. And then we call this Blue House. So some people will camp back here. You can call Blue Woodpile. But some people will camp Blue House as well. Then over on this side, oh, where'd you go? Alright, there we go. We call this target because there's a target right there. So this will be target. Sometimes they'll come up here. And then this is tank hill right here. So tank hill. You know, we call this what do we call it? This wall right here. We call this specific spot gay wall. I think they fixed it. Yeah, they did. Looks like they did. Cool. They made it a little higher. This is called gay wall. Like when people peek over. Oh, don't get stuck. And then this is just top C. And then you have some callouts like keys top C radio or blue room because there's a tarp right here. And then this is man cave. This is man cave alley. This is C river. And this is river house. Ridge, farmhouse, T1, T2, white truck, Humvee, our shack, their shack, our woodpile, their woodpile, mid 1, mid 2. Garage, people call this garage. So, yep. So, that is all the callouts. I want to do that fairly quickly because I will post in the video when I upload it to YouTube the callouts that we have, so you don't need to sit too long and watch the video on callouts. All right, so let's go over some strategy. My favorite. Did you guys fall asleep to that? I'll try to get to that really quickly. Aquatic,
I'm already in bed. It's cool.
Sure.
Are you really aquatic?
No.
Okay. I know some people like will watch from their bed before they go to sleep. So typically on heights, it'll be a 1-2-2. So one person will go A, 2 will go around B, and 2 will go C. Pretty much standard for every split. So you know your common spots are going to be someone's going to go ridge on insurgents, someone's probably going to go ridge, maybe they'll smoke here, try to push farmhouse. You know, someone usually sits ridge and tries to cover this A river, A canyon area. A isn't played that much by insurgents because they're scared, and rightfully so. Security has the upper hand. You'll see a lot of people playing this tea house, one of the insurgents playing the tea house, while another person tries to push on, maybe go white truck. And then you'll see usually one person playing man cave alley, trying to get a pick towards target, and then another insurgent will play near the tank hill. That's usually how people play. Now they change it up a little bit. Maybe someone won't go man cave alley. Maybe he'll go top C, and and maybe look out of radio room, try to come down on them, or maybe he'll go in blue house and try to take down them as well. But that's generally the split that you're going to see. So for security side, so I'm on security now. I'm security. Usually you're gonna see some sort of rush to A, and if you don't see a rush to A, you usually will camp right here, and it'll be looking straight down, all the way down over there. I'm no clipping right now, so my bullets aren't gonna go where I want them. But he's gonna look towards farmhouse and make sure they can't get in the farmhouse, so he's gonna shoot right here. Right at a sniper house. And then usually one will go mid, either mid 1 or mid 2 on security. Sometimes they'll rush in, sometimes they'll play slow. You see a lot of people camp right here. peeking his farmhouse as well, trying to get that pick all over there. And then usually another one will go, you know, maybe he'll sit back blue house, maybe he'll play, you know, this corner right here behind mid one, and wait for people to rush him and look towards garage. And then two people are usually going to play C in some form or fashion. You know, maybe they'll come play target and try to peek through this, try to kill someone that's coming into garage, maybe then come pick man cave alley. Usually there's someone camping in this door right here, or near the door, right? And then someone's usually going to go tank hill as well. And it's just usually like, it's a lot of 1v1 in the lanes. But if someone moves a little bit, they might be able to see someone else in another spot. That's your general split, okay? But the thing about heights, as well as station, as well as, yeah, pretty much heights and station, is that there's no clippings on top of these buildings. I mean, there's some clipping, but you can nade over almost every building. So you can get some pretty crazy nades going if you practice enough. Now, I'm not practiced enough, so I don't know where this is gonna land. But yeah, it lands my white truck. But you can get some of these nades to land. Like, if you practice your nades a lot on heights, practicing your nades on heights as well as station is so imperative for you to be able to push, hold back the push, get those early frags. You know, station's pretty chaotic. You gotta stop lanes with those frags. You know, maybe one early frag, then have another person late frag. That way the rush isn't there and you can rush. Another thing that's good to do on heights is to hold your frags as well. So, you know, what people will do is, you know, they'll hold on to their frag, and, you know, say someone is, you know, at this corner right here as security. You know, he camps at the corner and he makes sure no one can go log pile, okay? And then someone hops on B, okay? So I'm on security, I'm here, right? And I've already used my nade, you know, and I'm like, oh, you know, he's probably at white truck. Well, you know, then some guy camping back here, maybe he's looking white truck. He's like, no, he's not white truck. He's probably, you know, their shack. He can then throw his nade over by their shack and try and kill that guy. You know? So it's kind of like, you want to pre-nade, but sometimes it depends on who you're playing against, you know. And you just kind of have to understand what your enemy's doing. Do they like to rush? If they like to rush, then maybe it's good that you know, pre-nade, but then you save a couple nades in case they play slow, you know. Or maybe you like to rush, or you're going with a rush strat, and you want to stack your nades. So like, maybe maybe you're doing a triple man push towards C, and you just want to throw, you know, one nade man cave alley, and then another nade to the left of man cave alley, like left side C. And then while you're pushing, a third guy throws another nade man cave alley, and you can push up. So on heights, there's a lot of strategy with nades and smoke, and it's important to experiment with that. So I'm going to show you some general tips and tricks of each spot. Let me show you. Oh, excuse me. I haven't been sleeping much. So generally on heights, if I'm playing this position towards A, I'm gonna keep my eyes right here, okay, as I come over, and usually I'll prone right here, and right when I go prone, the timing will be that, like, right when I'm going prone, there's a guy like running right here, and he's crossing to A. You can usually pick that guy. So what's going to happen is they're going to start smoking, which is fine. You can generally just keep shooting. As soon as you see the smoke, you can kind of pick into it. So that's going to be something you can do. You can also try, you know, if you can view that far, maybe you can pick farther away as well. I know people do that. You know, if you can see that far, maybe you grab a scope and you can see that far, you can get the easy pick on somebody crossing. But when you're playing this position, you're gonna stick out like a sore thumb as soon as you start firing. If you're firing here, and there's a guy that's over here, maybe he's in the right here, or maybe, maybe he's over here at broken wall. That guy's gonna shoot at you as well. And if they have a sniper at sniper house, then you're screwed because he's gonna see you and go for you. He's gonna hear you firing away, and someone's gonna call you out. Oh, he's at ridge. He's at ridge. And another thing is too, if you're gonna rush this, right when you come right here, oops, sorry. Right when you come right here, the guy sitting at this stairwell has complete access to you. So sometimes you're gonna want to smoke, but you gotta be careful, because there are some pre-nades that will land right here. So it's all about feeling out your enemy and seeing what they do. On the flip side, just showing what security can do towards A. There's varying things that you can do. I do like 203 smoke, but I miss the nade. The nade is so, I love nades. I know some people don't play with nades that much, but you can throw that early smoke so that it deploys and kind of blocks. That's actually a crappy smoke. My smoke should have landed right here. So he can still kind of see me. So obviously, when you come in, you're gonna want to slide, but you should land your smoke more towards the left right here, kind of near in this bush. If you land it towards the bush, that's why the 203 is so nice, because what you don't want to do is lose your rush. You want to hit that smoke as soon as possible. And if I throw my smoke right here, I have to wait for it to deploy, blah, 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 blah. But if I have a 203, I can just shoot it right on the ground perfectly, and then they'll never see me, and I'll run right by. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to be rushing as security. I'm going to be rushing or camping, and the guy that maybe is sitting on mid over there, he's going to be watching that farmhouse, and he's going to tell me, oh, there's a guy crossing, and then I'm going to know what's going on. So that's all about, using your team communication, and it's so important. It's so important for those newer teams to get that chemistry down where you need support, So like something like, say you didn't know that say you never watched this video, right? But like, this is how you should think, okay? Like, okay, I'm rushing. Oh no, I die. Okay, I died right here, okay? Alright, so now your rationale should be, okay, I can't rush there because someone's camping somewhere over here, like somewhere in this big area. So my next thought will be, okay, next round I'm going to throw a smoke. Okay, so next round I throw a smoke, and I'm like sitting there, I smoke, and then I'm like, alright, smoked, cool, okay, I didn't die, now I'm pushing, and right when I come up on the State Insurgent right in front of me, and I'm like, and I die. Boom, I'm dead. I'm like, okay, well, the first round I got picked because there was no smoke. The second round I didn't get picked, but because I had to wait for that smoke to go, then that's why that guy killed me. Now, there's two trains of thought that can go on here next. One, you can ask someone, hey, can someone that's mid look right side and cover me and tell me if someone rushes? Or two, grab a 203 smoke and smoke instantly and then keep rushing. So that's kind of how like the learning process should go, and that's how like you should start to develop those skills and strategies and tactics as you play the game. It's just kind of trial by fire, and hopefully I can alleviate some of that pressure being a new player. It's really easy, and I mean, like, as most new players say when they come and play this game, they're like, oh my god, what did I die from? Blah, 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 blah. I don't know where he killed me, and that can be frustrating, but it's not, that doesn't mean that you can circumvent that frustration with tactics and strategies. You just have to be, instead of being like, oh my god, where is he, just be like, where is he, how can I solve this problem? And that's how you should be tackling every problem in competitive play. There's always a solution to a problem. You don't have to don't get too frustrated, because someone's got to have a solution, right? I mean, that otherwise, why would anyone? That would be an unbeatable strategy. So don't get too frustrated as you die from quote unquote nowhere. Or so just try to stay relaxed as you play and try to really think out. And another thing that I want to bring up the point of, which is not related to this map but related to teamwork, as you die, and as rounds in, you need to don't talk while you die. Like, after you die, just say what you need to say. But like, as you respawn, as a new round starts, sorry, I'm like brain farts right now. Sorry, I need more coffee. I guess I'd probably die though if I did. But as a new round starts, you say, okay, team, what's going on? You know, why? What's going on? Where's everyone dying? Where are people getting frustrated? You know, because if you're getting frustrated, you know, like you're not going to be playing to the best of your ability. You know, maybe if you ever get frustrated in your lane, ask someone, hey, I'm not doing so hot here. Can I play B? Can I play C? Can I play A? You know, can someone switch with me? Because, you know, if you're frustrated, you know, and you take out your frustration mid game, then you're going to frustrate other people. Then it's going to just cause this whole snowball effect, and then your whole team is going to go down. So it's important to try to control your frustration. Don't take it out on other people, and talk to your team. A new round starts. It's a whole new ball game. It's a whole new opportunity for you to take one round from that enemy team, and it's an opportunity for you to talk to your team. What's going on? What are the problems? How do we fix it? You know, because you're not alone. And I feel like a lot of players, when they start playing Insurgency competitively, yeah, they join teams, you know, but they're not. They don't act like a team, and that's not. And I'm not saying like they're not acting like a team because, you know, they're stupid or something. It's just that you forget that, you know, there are people that, if you position them correctly, can alleviate your stress and let you do your job better. You know, so like if you're trying to rush A as security, maybe just tell the guy mid one, hey, look towards farmhouse and tell me if someone rushes. That simple, you know, um, you just asking for someone to do that for you is going to make your job a lot easier, which will benefit your team and make you more successful. So it's important to communicate with your team in game, during the round, and of course during that freeze time. And don't be afraid. Sometimes, guys, like if you know you're down four, if you lose 4 rounds in a row and you need a breather, just take one of those timeouts. You know, take a minute timeout. Just be like, hey guys, pause for a second. You know, get up, stretch, or talk about the problems that are happening on your team. And it's important to do that. You know, because you getting frustrated, you know, it's just a slippery slope, and then you get mad at each other, which doesn't lead to anything. So try to stay calm and keep calm and chive on. Um, so that's the A play from security and insurgent side. Um, Let me just get restock on some ammo here. So for, you know, insurgents playing down here, usually you're gonna want to have like a 74U or something. Just depends how you're gonna play. There's a lot of nades. That guy that is usually gonna be rushing, you know, back on station or mid one. You know, you can get a nade over there. I probably missed. You know, oh, that's a little too far. That's all right. You know, you can practice your nade and land a nade right there, probably to kill that guy. You know, but it's practice makes perfect. It's, you know, whoever's more dedicated with their nades. Nades are gonna make the difference. Smokes are gonna make the difference as well. What I strongly don't advise doing, you know, I'm really against like smoking random points for no reason. So say I want to run a canyon, and there's a guy camping right here. You know, oh, my teammate's camping right here trying to get these picks. Well, if I want to run a canyon and I smoke down here, you know, this is going to be a problem for this guy. Okay, well, let me see. That might not be. You know, it's a little bit of a problem. It depends where it lands. That one's actually pretty in a good different, but it still obstructs his view where he can't shoot this person as well. You know, so just be mindful of where you're smoking. Smoking can really hurt your team. Like on district, I don't like smoking in the middle. What's up, Jimmy? How's it going, dude?
Hey there.
Hey, did you want to join the server we're in?
In progress.
Oh, cool. You already know the info?
What?
Oh, I see. You're part of TC. Go spectate if you can as soon as possible.
Okay.
Gotcha. How's everyone doing in Twitch chat? You guys all having a good time tonight? What's up, Mikey? Thanks for coming out, dude. Alright, sweet. So yeah, we're just going over. Oh, I forgot. This always changes. There we go. Cool. Yeah, we're just going over heights, Jimmy. Just going over some strategies. I went over like the basic calls and stuff. I can give you a printout later of it, but we basically went over just now how insurgents play A and how security plays A. So now we're moving on to the fourth and fifth, or the guy that usually will play on B slash, we call this T1 and T2. And I was just saying as you came in, I don't know if you heard. Did you hear me talk about smoke?
You're talking about smokes, how like you didn't like to use them as much.
Yeah. Well, it just depends. Like, because if you use smoke in the middle of a map, sometimes you're gonna obstruct someone's view, and that can be
Yeah.
detrimental. And basically, what happens is you don't ever want to smoke for the enemy team, and I find that a lot of people do that. Like, if you throw a smoke too close, then you can't see anything, and the enemy team will just run up on you. And sometimes you'll throw a smoke trying to protect yourself, and you will protect yourself, but then you'll block someone else's view, and they'll miss picks because of that. So it's important.
Yeah.
It's important that you be careful with where you smoke and are mindful of what lanes people are watching.
In this map, it's very important because snipers for the middle.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and typically, like, I know that I know people like to snipe on this map. That's another point that I should have brought up. Sniping is really good on this map. However, it's bad when you're the last one left and you only have a sniper, because this map is such far. It's like once you get in mid range, you know, it's gonna be hard even with that pistol to take down everyone. So I don't. I know, like, this map, you can get away with sniping a lot easier than on some of the other maps, but still a lot of times I would say, you know, not to take a sniper and just maybe play, you know, up close, or maybe just put a sight on your gun instead, because, you know, once you get in that mid-range CQC, having a sniper and having that pistol, even though the pistol is beast, it's going to be difficult to support your team. And, you know, it's cool if you snipe one guy, but then if your whole team dies and you're the last one left, you know, you're kind of, you know, fish out of water. That being said, another trick that I try to mention to everyone I play with: if you do snipe and you die mid-round, make sure that if you guys are capping, you switch your weapon, because you don't want to come into the middle of the game with a sniper rifle still. You know, the sniping is really good off the break and stuff, but a lot of times you're going to want to switch out of your sniper into a rifle, so that way you can fight off those spawn campers, etc., etc. Because so many times snipers, they'll stay with the sniper rifle, and they won't be able to fight off the spawn campers that are trying to kill them, etc. So a lot of people don't think to do that, which it's hard. You know, you're trying to be an active spectator, counting kills and stuff like that. But make sure if you're sniping, you switch out of that sniper class once you die, in case you respawn. So, but yeah, usually, in terms of the fourth or the second person playing towards A, usually he'll play right around here by this T1 building on the left side, trying to pick A as well. If he smokes, be careful, he'll probably creep. And it depends on how people play. So some people, you know, they'll smoke this little gap right here by the tree. Yeah. So then, you know, they'll smoke here and they'll rush, and it all depends. You know, once you hop on that B point, Jimmy, we're on Insurgents right now, so I would call this our shack. I don't know. Everyone has their own call, and we call this their shack.
Yeah.
And we call that their woodpile, our woodpile, Humvee, white truck, etc. So it's important on heights, like I was saying, that as much as you want to pre-nade, some people that are playing defensive need to save their nades, so that way when someone hops on the objective, someone can easily throw a nade out there. You know, like if he's capping there and someone calls out, "Oh, he's our shack." Where'd my cheats go? There they go. Yeah. So like if they call it their shack, then, you know, some guy sitting gay wall, you know, he can easily just come over here, you know, cook the nade, throw the nade over, and kill that guy. You know. So it's important to save your nade on heights, but it's important to pre-nade as well. It just depends on what the other people are doing. So typically it's good to have one person capping B and one person to defending them. Now, something that I've been noticing lately in some of the scrims I've been spectating for some of the newer teams, while it's not their fault, I want to drive this point home. The person capping is usually more important than you. So you want to give your life to protect that person capping, because if you die, you will come back if that person caps. If say you're right around this corner and you don't want to, and you're looking farmhouse, and someone on ridge is like, oh, he's rushing a river. Well, maybe I don't want to peek, right? Because I don't want to die. But if my teammate is right here, they're completely vulnerable, and they're in a firefight. They're completely vulnerable to this guy rushing a river, coming to flank him. So, as dangerous as it is to extend myself, I'm gonna peek out here and try to kill this guy a river to protect my teammate who is capping right here. And I know that even if I die, those few seconds may make the difference between our whole team respawning. I slow that guy down just enough so that we can get the cap and bring back 3 of my teammates. That's more important than my life. So, not all the time, but in general, I see people playing too passive once they get on the objective. They leave their capper all alone, and they just wait for him to cap, and he's got to defend against a bunch of people trying to kill him. And it's important, on heights to learn your limits. So if you're someone who likes to push on heights, you should try different lanes and stuff and feel them out, because you're going to learn what limitations you have. It's important in a game like this, in any competitive game, to try and rush all the time and learn your limits. Because if you play too passively in the beginning, you're never going to learn what lanes you can push up on, what the halfway points are, and then you're going to lose ground and give the enemy angles that you probably will not have an easy chance to defend against. So I know a lot of people, they like to take it slow, and that's fine. And I'm not saying rush all the time. I'm just saying learn when to play aggressive and when to play passive. That is so important. Yeah, and then that's the second guy on this side. On security, this guy is usually going to be playing the mid house. He might play sniper wall as well, or sniper house, sniper wall. He's gonna. This is gonna be the guy that's picking towards farmhouse, or mid. Or maybe this is the guy maybe he'll be rushing through mid 1 onto Shack, peeking towards Man Cave Valley, watching that rush, maybe watching right truck, but just be careful. This guy's going to be either playing passive or aggressive. And that's the thing that's nice about heights, is that you have so many different options. Using your smoke and using your nade opens so many different lanes, opens so many different tactics. Now, as I said before, what frustrates people about heights is they don't know where the hell they're getting shot from. And that's just an experience thing, It's not, that this map sucks, or that it's, maybe it is that this map is a little hard, but, once you learn what people are camping and stuff, you usually don't die by that. I usually don't get picked off randomly, and I usually know why. If I'm pushing a lane, I know I'm being aggressive, I know what my risks are, but don't get frustrated at the map if you just die and you don't know where you got shot from. That's just insurgency. And once you gain more experience, you're going to learn where those people camp. You're going to learn what you can do. You're going to know your limitations. So I think Heights is a really good map, and I think that it's underrated by a lot of people, just because you have to. There takes a lot of thinking involved to play. Not to knock Ministry or anything, but Ministry is pretty straightforward. There's not a lot of nooks and crannies. Etc. etc. It's pretty straightforward in tactics. You can change up things here and there, but there's you can't really 5 stack a point, or 4 stack a point in Ministry and get away with it, because people are just gonna mow you down on that short little corridor or small little corridor. But on a map like Heights, using psychology, once again going back to psychology, just like on District, once you scare people, you can start stacking 2 or 3 people in a lane and really driving that lane home. Maybe come out with some crazy strategy, where you triple smoke the river, and then you push all the way down as security with 2 people. That's something that most maps aren't going to let you do. You have so much freedom here once you learn your limitations. Once you learn what the enemy's doing, analyze them, and study them and get to know them. You can pull off some crazy trick plays, and that's why this map is beautiful. And not to knock Ministry. Ministry has some beautiful strategies as well, but I find so much freedom in maps like Heights, and while it may be frustrating when you're new, it's such a good. Once you learn the little nuances of it, man, this map is so fun. There's so many things that you can do. There's so many opportunities. So You know, if you're a newer team or a newer player and you're getting frustrated, you know, just keep pushing through, keep learning, keep challenging yourself. Um, so those are the two people on security and the two people that usually play on that left or right side on the A river side. Um, your third person is usually going to be your capper. He's usually going to play white truck. He's usually going to play behind woodpile, waiting for it. Sometimes this guy might even push through man cave, come through their woodpile, and camp really slow. One thing I want to tell you about though is that I have the wrong gun. Hold on. That woodpile, you can wall bang through it, so be very careful. This is a little trick. Maybe I shouldn't be telling you people this. But say you're security and you're camping through this, I love this because like it's weird, like the cap point, it's not all the way back here. You have to like scoot up a little bit to cap. So you're like right here, you know, and what you see all the time is you say, oh, he's the, like I'll be on insurgent and someone will see him go woodpile and they'll be like, oh, he's there woodpile, and I'll just shoot through it. I mean, you can see the dust behind it. It goes all the way through, and I'll just wall bang that guy. Like yesterday, or I think actually in in the ESL Cup that we played the other day that I got pulled into, I shot a guy here and his gun just went flying out, and I knew that I killed him. So just be careful if you're camping behind this wood pile because you can definitely wall bang it with the AKM or the M16. So it cuts through it like butter. So you know, usually this guy, this third person on Insurgent, he's going to be playing in man cave. You know, maybe he's playing so, maybe not. But he's going to be the guy that's most focused on B. And the same thing on security side. This guy's pretty straightforward. He's not going to be doing much. Maybe he plays mid. Maybe maybe he comes over here. Maybe he throws a smoke there and pushes on woodpile. But be very careful. So, you know, playing this gay wall. A lot of people play here. They're going to sit right here, wait for that call. Like I said, maybe someone comes on B. He's going to throw this nade. Maybe he'll peek. He'll be like, oh, no, I don't see him on shack. He's definitely on white truck. So, you know, then you can throw your nade on white truck. Oh, of course. Wow, what a bounce. That was beautiful. Yeah. Another thing that you just saw me to do, which I don't know if people know about, in Counter-Strike you can't really do this because the walls are so high. But in Call of Duty, this was something that people did all the time. Like, say, you know, where can we do this? Where can we do this? You know, say like, oh, he's pushing A river. Link, look out behind you. You know, and maybe I can just throw this nade all the way straight up. Oh, did I throw it too far out? Oh yeah, I did. But you can definitely throw it over the wall. Throw it straight up instead of throwing it straight at people. And like, that's something that we do all the time. Let me redeem myself. That's a little better. It definitely landed in the river probably, but when you get that down, you can nade people over and stuff, and that's something that you can do as well. Like, instead of throwing my nade out right here, like trying to kill this guy right here, you know, you could definitely throw it up and over, because you may not want to expose yourself, right? Like, if you peek out here, maybe there's a guy garage, right, covering his teammate, and I'm dead. Boom. I die. I don't get the nade off. The nade stops. It lands at my feet. I die. But maybe, you know, if I throw this nade, get close to the wall, throw it a little bit over, and then kill that guy. You know, that's all that was needed. Yeah. So, that's just a little different tactics that we have. But this guy in mid, he's pretty straightforward. Sometimes he'll do different things and whatnot, but he's going to be mainly focusing around B. He's going to be throwing nades, he's going to be throwing smokes, trying to get around B or to play defensively. Let's see. Now the two guys around C. Oh, I got a crick in my neck. Two guys around C have a lot of options. A lot of people in the beginning. Let's see. I want to talk about this guy first. The guy on the outer side C, that plays tank hill. This spot is a little different because a lot of people stopped rushing this spot. So as an insurgent, you know, maybe you'll creep up, maybe you'll nade. A lot of people will nade up here. But what security usually does is they'll camp right here and look for easy picks. You know, mainly they'll look for this guy in Man Cave Alley. You can see the Man Cave window right there, and they'll try to pick that guy. They'll look garage as well, and maybe throw a couple shots towards C. So it just depends. But usually someone will camp at this little wall right here, you know. And actually, I think I'm gonna name this cubby. I am gonna name this cubby. I just did that. We're gonna call this spot cubby. So people will sit cubby on security, and they won't really push tank hill. Maybe they'll play two guys. Maybe some guy will camp all the way, you know, back here or something, and wait for this guy to push him. Maybe he'll also throw a nade, but you have to be careful because you can see over the hill over there. But definitely a lot of nades are gonna come out on this side. And you can learn, and if you get your timings down, you can learn pre-nades that will go over in the entire buildings and nade back, all the way in the back, right where they rush. Can't speak. So, you know, get a nade like that or something that'll kill this guy that's rushing right here. It just depends how much you practice. I am out of practice, so my nades are terrible right now. I have not practiced my nades, but I definitely will put a couple hours into practicing nades soon. So for tank kill, there's a lot of different options because as soon as you start killing this guy over here, you know, maybe you can throw a nade, maybe not, maybe you can smoke, but you need to be careful as you push over because he's gonna have camping advantage. But you can play this inside and get a lot of picks here, you know. And once you look mid, you know, this is where you can really come into plays. You can flank all those people. Maybe there's a security that pushed gay wall. You know, maybe there's a guy in mid that you can see. You know, or broken wall, or blue. Maybe you can see blue house. You know, through these trees over here. It just depends. But playing this spot is really awesome, but it's really dangerous if you're not careful. Some people have started throwing Molotovs up here as well. I'm not really scared of Molotovs. I mean, you can't obviously sit in them, so you have to run in them, but it takes, you know, 3 to 4 seconds before you die by them. So, just a little scary thing. Yeah. So, and security will play this side. They're usually double stacked. There's not really much to it. You know, they'll pick their spots. Maybe they'll camp here. Maybe they'll nade up and push up into man cave alley. Maybe they'll sit back. Maybe they'll sit target. You know, but they're usually between, you know, here and, you know, right here. You know, target to tank hill. There's usually two guys sitting here somewhere. Maybe they're rushing. Maybe they're not. But you gotta be careful that you don't lose this. So you don't want to push too far up and miss everything. But that's where your nades come in, and that's why a lot of people will usually elect to sit someone right here, because this guy can watch everything and make sure they don't rush. Because if they rush through, you got them. But you also got to be careful that mid doesn't kill you. But this spot is super common, so a lot of people will look there. Oh. And it's important that you know, like, wall bangable spots. You know, like, for some reason, let me see if this has been changed. So you can't wall through right here. What was that? But you can wall through this tarp. It's really weird. So for some reason the prop changes the penetration of the wall. So that's like a little tidbit of information that someone probably wouldn't know. And you can shoot through all these. I'm not sure if you can shoot through the floor. Oh, I mean, we may never know. I should buy into command. Do you guys have any questions?
My question is, if I were to record like a demo in Source, like Insurgency, will there be any implementations where I'll be able to see the other player's own first-person perspective?
Not with demos. With Source TV, you might be able to do something like that, but I'm not sure if Source TV is working.
I just wish the developers would actually try to like work on the demos for recording demos for like Insurgency, because I keep having this issue where it's hard for me to
yes, you can.
Whether or not this person is going to be hacking. We need to have some sort of way we could counter the hackers.
Right. Yeah, and I think, you know, like, there are some people within the community that are working on anti-cheats slowly. and those may be released later at time that may catch those things, those code injections that are
Sure,
such things as hacking. But
Valve anti-cheat is
yeah,
one of them,
yeah,
but there's gotta be more we gotta counter it. Like, why don't we just have a freaking Overwatch system?
yeah.
And also have the X-ray skeletons on to see if this guy is looking directly at that person with visual aims,
Yeah.
auto aim, or any of that
Yeah.
crazy shenanigans these people might use.
X-ray is cool because I think I would like to see X-ray, not just purely for anti-cheat, but also for spectating. It's really cool when I'm hiding right here and I don't know there's a guy here, but the audience can know that there's a guy there. I mean, that's just the same thing with all like films and horror films, right? Is that the viewer is omnipotent. They know what's kind of going on and such and such, and it's the suspense. And that's the thing, like in RTSs, why people really like watching StarCraft is because you see what the strategies of both players, and you're like, oh my gosh, this guy's building the wrong build. He's not going to be able to survive, and then maybe he does, and it's the suspense that kills people and makes them go crazy. So that's why, like, I would love to see like something like an X-ray mode in Spectator. Just going off on a tangent, Claudius, I know what you're talking about, and it would be completely beneficial to have something like Overwatch and to spectate as well. Something that both the developer and even ourselves at the DGL are very scared of, though, is having such things that are peer reviewed where you know you need to prove without a reasonable doubt that someone's hacking. Like how many times have we been playing video games and some random person just says, "Oh, you're a hacker. I know you're a hacker. I have all this experience and blah blah blah." But in terms of like a true anti-cheat, yeah, I would love for that, Claudius. But one thing the developers are really good at is if you are recording, those people that are definitely hacking, like aimbotting and speed hacking, etc. If you send those demos in to like Mikey or someone else, they will take rid of them. Like us people at the DGL, we've already submitted. Like personally myself, like I was streaming and there was a hacker in one of my games, and I showed Mikey, and I got his Steam ID and everything, and those videos were submitted and getting people banned, and Barbecue has done as well, etc., etc. So I mean that's what we have right now, and I'm sure that maybe they are working on something, because definitely developers don't like people hacking the game because it ruins the game for everyone else, and they're trying to make their people happy, and if they can't make their people happy, then they're not going to make sales, and their whole job is to make money.
Right.
So
But are you familiar with the game ban? How it actually differs from Valve anti-cheat?
actually no, I am not, but I am pretty sure it's just a hard code ban.
It's similar to like a back ban, but unlike the Valve anti-cheat, it only bans on one of those specific games. Like for example, if one of the developers are aware that somebody was hacking, let's just say in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 or something like that, that ban will only apply to specifically to that game itself. Not all games aren't going to issue a back ban. Yeah,
Right.
it's so hard for me to actually explain, but if the developers actually catch you making some hacks, they can issue like a game ban where they reserve the right to ban the game from online play, but they can't ban it from offline single player campaign.
Right. Yeah.
I just heard about that from Reddit the other day ago. I was curious if you ever heard about that.
I know that there's differences, like in Valve secure games, like if you're banned from one, you're banned from all. But in indie games, you're only going to be banned from those certain games, or like single player, etc., etc. And it's difficult, like it's someone's always going to find a loophole, and you can just continually try your best,
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm sure they are. I mean, they've definitely tried their best to help us, and we've submitted videos of legitimate hacklers, like people that are flying around the level and etc. And it's like few and far between, like between hundreds of players, maybe we'll catch like two, like every 2 months or something, legitimate hackers. I'm not saying like people that are like maybe sketchy, but I'm talking about people that are actually legitimately hacking, flying around the level, OPK, aimbot, etc., etc. So
Yeah, You know the part where you talk about throwing a grenade over a wall?
Yeah.
Can you go for an underhand?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know how far it'll go. Let me see. Yeah, there you go. Boom.
Yeah, that would actually work rather than just overhanding it.
Right.
But that's just me.
No. I
But
mean,
you have to aim it way, way up high. Otherwise, if you don't, you're just gonna get yourself killed.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! You
Heck,
can
it also
underhand
works
these
if
grenades.
I would like throw grenade
Yeah.
just
So middle
underhand it under the window.
Yeah, yeah. So middle mouse is underhand throw nades. However, it's meant to roll, but you got to be careful because the physics on the ground aren't so well. Where like sometimes it'll get stuck. It's like see, it doesn't go very far. So you got to be careful if you're rolling. But throwing them through windows and stuff like that is really advantageous. You never knew
Today
that.
I learned.
Today you learned that you could throw nades underhand. So it's just the middle mouse button. I believe you can cook them the same, yeah, Claudius?
Yep.
Yeah, so you just hold it down.
Careful with that.
Yeah. So you gotta be careful. It definitely comes out at a different angle. So don't worry, Kasif. I've known this guy for a long time. That's you, Mr. White, I believe. It's been a while. So something else, something that I think is important for people is that it's important that when you're the last man alive sometimes and you're capping an objective, you have to know, like, say I'm capping A and I'm hero capping and B and C have been capped and, you know, we killed 2 and 2 respawned and I know that they're coming through this way over here and I know that another guy is probably coming from B because they just capped over there and I don't know where the other 2 people are coming. Sometimes it's important for you to take the fight to them depending on where your cap is. You know, like, a lot of times some people are going to come around this corner and they're going to get lit up by this guy. And sometimes those people are going to come around that corner and pre-fire. So sometimes it's important that you don't get run up on and you take the fight to them. So say, you know, like I'm camping here and I'm watching this wall and I'm like, okay, if he comes up this stairs, you know, say you kill this, say I'm capping and it's like 50% and I kill this guy and it's 75%. I'm so close, you know, okay, let's say a more realistic scenario. Or a better scenario for this, okay? Say it's like 25%, I kill this guy. I know that they're respawning, and I know that, you know, there's no way I'm going to cap this point in time, and these people are going to overrun me. So rather than being overrun, I'm going to peek out this window, and I'm going to be an active defender. I'm going to, you know, kill this guy here, maybe run around, try to find another guy before they come up, you know, because this is my house, and I am not letting them come in, and I need to cap this point. Now, on the flip side, say I kill this guy, and I'm at 75%. I kill this guy, I'm like, oh my god, I'm at 80%, 90%. You know, like, I don't want to peek out and die by this guy. You know, if I have very little time left, I don't want to peek. And I find that a lot of new players, sometimes, they peek at the wrong times. You know, it's like, if there's a guy in Farmhouse, and he's the last guy left, and I'm capping A, and this thing's got, like, is at 50%, you know, 75%, you know, why peek out? Just get the cap. Just go prone, lay on the ground, you know, and cap the point. But some players, they're going to want to go for that kill. They'll be at 75%. They'll peek out. They'll die. Boom, round's over. When it could have been a 5v1, you tried to do a 1v1 and died with only like 5 seconds left on the cap. You peeked and died. So it's very important for people to know that. I've seen it on District. I've seen it on everything. Players get antsy. They get up. They start running around. They get shot, and they lose the round. So
like,
you got.
they seem like they have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, like, well.
Happened to me many, many, many times.
Yeah, it's just inexperience, you know, and you get scared and you get excited. But that being said, there is a time where you don't want to just sit back, you know, like if you just come into this objective and you know people are swarming you, there's no reason for you to sit in the corner. Okay, yeah, maybe you kill this one guy, maybe you kill this guy, but you know, those third and fourth people, they're going to come through the door, they're going to know right where you are and they're going to kill you. Another thing that I see all the time too is say you're on C. Okay, here we go. Last man left. I'm up on C. I'm camping back here. Or let's say let's say I'm camping over here. All right, I'm camping right here. We got the -3 call. We know that 3 people are down. So I'm capping this point. I'm at 75%. All right. Now I know I said this last time, but I want to bring this up because it's a good point because it happens on every other map. Okay. 75%. Boom. I get blocked. I know there's a guy downstairs. Oh no. Now there's another guy camping B. There's another enemy capping B. Okay. So it's a 2v1. All right. I'm the one, or it's 1v2. Me versus 2 other guys. One guy's bottom of C. He's blocking me. I'm trying to say I'm security. Okay. I'm security. I know I have an AK. I'm security. I'm capping this point. It's 75%. An insurgent runs downstairs because this is the insurgent natural. He blocks it at 75%. All right. Then there's another insurgent. He hops on B, and he's capping. Okay. A lot of people, they get scared. They just sit here and they wait. Okay. It's at 75%. Maybe it's at 99%, and they just sit up here and camp. And while the enemy caps B, it's 1v2, okay? Instead, 1v5 is very not in your favor compared to a 1v2. And it's really a 1v1 because this guy, there's only one person on C and one person capping B. So it's a 1v1, you know. You're going to want to do, you know, on something like here, maybe you can peek out really quick and kill this guy. It's a little ballsy, but whatever. You can come out, try and kill that guy, come down here. Maybe he's camping in this corner or one of these corners. Very common, okay? But it's important that when you get in this situation that sometimes you're going to want to play aggressive, okay? And this is going back to, you know, not just turtling up and waiting for them to come to you, all right? Because you need to get that cap, because if you don't get that cap, it's going to be 1v5. This guy, whoever he is, you know, I'm insurgent, I run in, I go prone, I'm just going to wait here. You know, I'm going to wait here. My teammate's like, hey, I'm capping B, just wait there, block C. I'm like, okay, blocking C, perfect. So, you know, it's important that sometimes when you play, you need to recognize these situations. And, you know, hopefully your teammates who are dead are going to call that out. Oh, go one cat, you know, -3, there's only 2 left. 1 B, 1 blocking C. It's like, go downstairs. Okay, I go downstairs, you know, and I want to look for this guy. Maybe you have a nade left. You probably don't. But you want to be careful. You know, you look at that corner. Maybe you pre-fire. You know, this is also another common spot right here. So... So, what's up, Oracle man? That's just a quick done out. Aquatic, you got any questions?
Nope, not at all.
Yeah, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Can we have a really cool drill where this gameplay is all about spawn killers versus spawners?
Claudius,
I noticed that there's some people that get themselves spawn kill right when they exit the spawn.
Yeah.
There's some people that have been complaining about it. I think it's pretty hilarious. But sometimes I always thought to myself, okay, there's one last person. There's a couple people. Let's just say he must be right near when the enemy spawn, which is basically your spawn. What will you do if you were trying to make your wait and try to avoid getting yourself spawn kill?
Who, me? What would I do?
Yeah.
So usually I'm just going
Basically, your goal is to try to avoid getting yourself spawn killed by that spawn killer, while the spawners need to fight counter against the spawn killers and try to make it to one of these pre-cap points as quickly as possible.
Right. Yeah, it's a good drill, and it's going to be hard, you know, for people to do. And it's basically comes down to like a good split. You know, some of these spots are obviously really going to be advantageous to the spawn campers. There's going to be a lot of pre-firing. You know, I know that a lot of people spawn camp here. I mean, this is a pretty common spot, you know, so a lot of people will pre-fire. So it all comes down to pre-fire, you know, and kind of like not doubling up, you know. So maybe someone's pre-firing and one person goes around the corner, checks right. Maybe there's a guy there. And then there's another guy that waits right here, you know, and he's like, oh, he's right to the right, he's right to the right. And you come out and you pre-fire, kill that guy. Someone's still shooting that. That guy's ducked down and then you pushed in, you know. But it's important, like on this map, you know, you bring up a good point. In this map, when you respawn as an insurgent anyways, you know, obviously your natural is the closest, so it's important to go to C, you know. But it's really hard to retake it at times, so you got to be careful. B's not that far away, you know, but C is what everyone seems to go to, and it's important to split your forces. You know, maybe 3 go for natural, and you know, 1's probably dead, so you got 1 guy left that can go towards B. But it's important that you get those rotations down. And like on this map, you know, speaking about rotations, it's really important. You know, if what you'll see here is you'll commonly see is like a shift. So like say, say what am I gonna call here? Let's see. You know, say you get into this weird rotation where we swap cap points for some reason. Okay, so say, and we see this sometimes. So say A has now been capped by insurgents. Okay, so A is insurgents. B and C were capped by security. Okay, or B was capped by security. All right. Now say we capped A, and that guy A is just sitting on A, and I'm in B, and I kill this guy B, I find him, and I'm capping, okay? And we're the only 2 left, and it's 2v1, okay? Or, you know, whatever. Yeah, let's just say it's, you know, it's 2v1, okay? It's me and my teammate. I'm on B, I'm recapping. There's another guy C, okay? What you're going to want to do here is you're going to want to switch, okay? So I got a teammate on A, and I'm going to say, hey, you know, maybe my teammate Nex, you know, teammate Nex is on A, and I'm on B, and I'm recapping. Say, Nex, take the B point. I'm going to go block C. So what you're going to see on the map is you're going to see, you know, all this kind of shifting over. I'm going to come in. I'm going to come block this point. Nex is going to run this route. He's going to come from A, you know, and he doesn't need to be there. He's just, like, chilling there, trying to protect it. And he's like, Nex, we need to go. We need to go. Cap B for me. I'm going C. You know, because a lot of times what you'll see is, like, say Nex, maybe he's kill greedy. He'll just be like, oh, they're gonna spawn, you know. Oh, they're capping C, so instead I'm gonna move up. You know, why go for the kills when you can just stop? Why go for the spawn camp when you can just stop the spawn in general? You know, like just call for your teammate. Hey, Nex, come cap A, and Nex is like, oh shoot, okay, I'm coming, and or come cap B. So Nex, come cap B, and you know he comes over. And you know, we're talking about this from a certain side. So say you're going like a merry-go-round. So for some reason we capped A, and they try to cap B, etc., etc. You know. And like a more realistic situation would be where B is neutral, C is getting capped, and insurgents capped A. So I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna cap B. It's like, no, don't cap B. Have your guy on A rotate to B. You should go cap. You should go stop this cap at C. But people just get trained and focused, and I see it all the time. You know, those newer players, instead of them rotating to block C, you know, they're going to just let that C point cap, and then now it's going to be 2v5 and then 5v5 when you could have blocked it, and your guy A could have rotated on B, and then it would have been a 5v1. And that's all about teamwork, and that's all about that communication, just going back to the very beginning. You know, if you're trying to if I'm on security, and you know, I'm trying to push this lane, sometimes, you know, you're gonna need to ask for help from someone around mid. Hey, can the guy on mid look farmhouse and peek it for me? You know, and I find that so much that so many people are just afraid, or you know, maybe not used to talking to their team and asking for help. And you know, you're on a team, and that's what you're there for. You know. And you just gotta always ask yourself, what can I be doing to benefit my team? You know, if you're not covering a lane, if you're just camping in a corner, you're not really helping your team out. You know, if maybe you're camping back here, you know, or something, and not really helping your team out. It's important to always be doing something that's beneficial. You know, holding a lane, etc., etc. Can you think of any scenarios, Aquatic, that you may have questions on, or any questions in general about anything, like any maps or anything?
Not at the moment, no.
Gotcha. Any problems you've run into that you didn't know how to counter, or anything like that?
Well, not me personally. There was one the other night where Intric kept getting rushed in on at tires on District the other night.
Gotcha.
and he apparently wasn't realizing it because he didn't never change anything.
Gotcha. Yeah. It's important, like, to talk to each other and analyze, and like sometimes you're gonna get, one player is gonna get frustrated, and you're like, hey, what's going on, dude? What's the problem? And he's gonna say, oh, this is happening. I don't know what I'm doing. And you say, hey, you know what? Why don't you try this? If that doesn't work out, if your teammate's getting frustrated, then switch with them. Just be like, hey, man, I got it. You cover my lane, or just ask him, hey, do you want to swap? Because blah, 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 blah. Maybe talk to him in private, like through Steam or something. Hey, man, just take my spot, just chill out, etc., etc. But I think I went over all the common spots and some of the strategies of Heights. Heights is a beautiful map, lots of smokes and lots of nades that you can do. There's just so much strategy involved, and I know that it's frustrating for a lot of new players, but keep with it. I can definitely help you guys out one-on-one with your team or whatnot, and get you guys rolling. So for those